Your competitors have already run the experiments, spent thousands figuring out what pain points convert, what offers get clicks, and you can see all of it for free in 10 minutes. But that's just step one, because once you have that signal, I'm going to show you how to build something inside Claude Code that turns it into a personalized lead magnet for every single prospect on your list. And the best part, you can do thousands of these at scale in minutes. And I'll show you a real lead magnet plus the full system you can steal for free at the end of this video. Step one is always going to be to research your competitors. And the reason for that is because your competitors are already going to be running things that are likely working. So what you want to do is start by building off of that and testing against it, especially when it comes to lead magnets, because there's just a million different things you can do. The second place I would recommend looking is just the problems people are describing on your sales calls. And we'll go into the third place, which is sort of Reddit on a little bit here. But to start, you want to start with the LinkedIn ad library or the meta ad library, and you can programmatically scrape it if you'd like using something like Ad Intel, or you can do it through an API fi actor. But I'd recommend just building your list of competitors, going through it manually. This is a very high leverage task for you to understand what type of marketing your competitors are pouring ad spend into. Because if they're pouring money into it, you got to think some of them are getting money out of it. So it's more valid as something to test for yourself or to build upon. So what we're going to look to do today is build upon it. So we're going to hop into ad library and we'll walk through the process of looking for an ad that actually makes sense to build upon. So this is Gold IQ, one of the top go-to-market agencies in the space, one of the fastest growing ones. And so their ad library is going to be a pretty reasonable destination where we can start going through, potential providers or potential lead magnets that might make sense for us. So you've got these cuter ads, and you're really looking for the ads that gut instinct, you could turn into a free value offering that is bespoke to the recipient. So we built go-to-market systems. So they're giving away a system diagram, but this is where we have something that's kind of interesting. So we have this, turn your LinkedIn profile into a client machine. And this could be a pretty interesting baseline. So let's check out what this is all about. You can see here, it has quite a few impressions. It's targeting countries that align with the countries we would want to target. And it's giving away a blueprint of how to generate organic impressions, how to book inbound calls, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's actually just linking them a guide to dominate LinkedIn in 2026. So let's click that and see if there's an email opt-in. So in this case, there's going to be an email opt-in, and it's going to require a little bit of work to get the ad or to get the value, which is good for us because it means that we can take this idea of this 7-step video course, this content dashboard, this content ideation agent, double content agents and Miro boards, and start to build upon it to figure out a lead offering for ourselves. I've gone ahead and pasted the initial information from the ad about LinkedIn growth and getting leads from LinkedIn. And so now we can move on to step 2, which is to validate with Reddit research. Now, to do this, you can go to leadgrow.ai/Claude Code and grab our Reddit find tool, which is free and open source, and install it into your Claude instance. And we're just going to use that to dive into real pain language that we can use in the copy and the lead magnet. So we have 2 things that we need to do here. We need to define how our lead magnet is different from the Gold IQ lead magnet. And the beauty of outbound-based lead magnets is you have an opportunity to create one-of-one lead magnets for every single recipient and provide upfront value because you're choosing who you deliver it to instead of an algorithm. So let's get into it. Now, Claude, what I want you to do is use the Reddit find tool to go through and look at the way people describe their pain on finding leads and lead generation on LinkedIn, especially lead generation when it comes to potentially retargeting competitor engagers or retargeting or choosing people who to target that are active on the platform, and basically just dig around and get me an understanding of what the voice of the market might be. Now, we'll let that run, and on the side, we'll begin brainstorming exactly what we want to do with our version of this lead magnet. Now, obviously, my business, LeadGrow, does lead generation mostly through outbound. So we're going to take a bit more of an outbound focus to the value we attempt to provide the recipient. So instead of this system just being about content, we'll focus it in on people that are already posting content and how to get the most value out of that content. So now step 3 is just the infrastructure you're going to need to create lead magnets, basically for next to free at scale. And so this is going to let you do things like programmatically creating entire websites for a prospect, all the way through to making interactive applications if you'd like to, or even like ROI calculators might be an example. So all you're going to have to do is create your Cloudflare account, which again, free, just sign for the free tier, log in, and you'll get all the usage you need. Then you're going to install the Wrangler CLI, which is basically an interface for AI to interact with Cloudflare through your account. You're going to run npm install -g Wrangler, in your PowerShell. So that will involve opening up a new terminal. If you don't want to do this yourself, just get Claude to do it for you. Then you're going to go ahead and do Wrangler-help. And this is going to lay out all the things that you can do. So in this case, what you would do is Wrangler login. And then you would be able to log in. And the final thing you would do is ask Claude to install some simple agent skills so that Claude understands how to use the Cloudflare agent. So you can see your install skills. This will install Cloudflare agent skills are the ones you want so that it knows how to use it. The second thing you're going to do for setup is set up your agent browser. Now, Vercel has a free agent browser. Look it up and do the exact same process I just described with the Cloudflare system, and you'll have that set up as well, including installing their skills. This is going to let you do fun things like taking screenshots and going through and grabbing and scraping information that may be hard to scrape otherwise. You may require proxies. Quick thing, make sure you're not overusing it on a single website or that website could end up blocking you. So be mindful. Once everything is set up, you need to figure out exactly the tools that you're going to use to make your lead magnet one of a kind and valuable. And so the beauty of running these things out of Claude Code is that you can programmatically both find and discover things that may be relevant to the lead magnet you want to create. But number two, you can also run them at scale. So the number one place I would recommend going is the API CLI. If not, I would recommend going to Rapid API. This will give you any API you could possibly imagine out of the box, and then it just comes down to pricing. So in this case, what I'm going to do is feed it information about the lead magnet that we defined, which is going to be around LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell Claude about this idea. Hey, Claude, what I want you to do is dive into the API CLI and search for APIs and actors that might be helpful for the following use case. We're building a one-to-one lead magnet system, and we're going to be sending it to founders that are actively posting on LinkedIn, as well as maybe marketers, product teams, and things like that. And what I want to do is be able to actually scrape their posts that they actively have, and then qualify the engagers based on which engagers are ICP, based on their company ICP, not their personal ICP, and then actually embed that into our lead magnet that we're creating one-to-one. So they have this little research kit of high priority contacts they could be reaching out to based on the things they posted in the last 2 weeks, basically. Are there any APIs that you would recommend for this system? And so I'm already thinking that we're probably going to mention like the CRM. So I'll show you how you can do it and scale it to thousands of recipients extremely fast natively inside Claude Code without any of the complex Clay table, Google Sheet orchestration. Before we get into the actual build, I thought it was really important to go through why you might want to have a lead magnet system like this in place, depending on your market. Now, there's basically two areas where I think these make sense. The first is you're in a saturated market. If you're in a saturated market and it's really, really hard to stand out, there's two directions you can go. You can either go the route of providing more upfront value, or you can position against the market and actually be like, look, that upfront value is a joke. It doesn't do anything for you. What we do is we focus on the actual work. So let's say everyone was doing Klaviyo audits. You could say, look, I'm not going to waste your time with another Klaviyo audit. I'm sure you know how to look at your dashboard. Instead, right, you go into offer from there. And now you sound relatable. You've put yourself in their shoes. You've created some level of worldview alignment. Or you can go the route of a very bespoke lead magnet that is highly valuable, like I'm showing you today how to build. And we'll show you in the future how to turn into even a video style lead magnet that's one-to-one. The reason you would want to do this is to stand out. And number two, to provide genuine value. And number three, that value needs to be a precursor or kind of integrate into your actual offer so you can graduate to a meeting naturally. Okay. However, there is another reason why you might want to do lead magnets like this. And that's if you're a company that is basically entirely demand capture. What I mean by that is if you're something like an LLM wiki, no one's going, man, it would be nice to have more LLM wiki when you DM them. Or if there's no way for you to turn into an introductory offer that moves the needle on an outcome that is valuable to someone, so valuable that they're not afraid of friction. Or if your product is so high friction that it just takes too much time to explain the value or get that oh wow moment. If you're in a position where the oh wow moment is far away, then a lead magnet might make sense to build trust that you can create the oh wow moment. Right? You'll have more belief in the fact that, hey, this takes some time to have some payoff, but maybe these guys can do it. Right? Let's get into the build. For our build, we really just need three things. It's our Reddit research, the ad itself that we're basing it off of, which already has language that people are resonating with. And then we're going to need the API research once it wraps up. So let's go through this quickly, then the API research, and then we'll build a lead magnet for a real prospect. So we have people that are disillusioned and we have people that believe it can convert. So we have impressions went up, customers didn't. We have the words they use, 6 months of LinkedIn content, 0 customers. I had nothing from B2B marketing. cold DMs that smell like a pitch from the first second. So that's really funny because that is copy that was directly in Cold IQ's ad, which shows that they likely used a similar system in order to make sure that their ad had resonant copy, which actually shows that we're on the right track here and why it's so good to start with a competitor in the first place. I don't know who to target, so I spray 30K and pray. So no spray and pray, that's a big one. Closed a 32K deal from a single LinkedIn like. So this idea of retargeting people that are engaging, perfect. And so we're going to take this. We're going to focus in on 3 of these in terms of pain points we want to talk about, which is no spray and pray. It shouldn't smell like a pitch. Impressions went up, customers didn't. And we're going to break this limiting belief with the system. Hey, first name, are you tired of LinkedIn posts not turning into customers? How are you turning your LinkedIn content into customers? Closed one, whatever it is. We're going to take that. We're going to go after the CRO. So just founders posting content. And we're going to go after the CRO and be like, look, what are you guys doing to turn all of this founder engagement into bottom of funnel conversions? And we'll take it from there. So let's dive in. And we have all of our research from Appify as well here. So we can see here that we can do Harvest API for LinkedIn profile posts. We can scrape LinkedIn likers and engagers without a cookie. We can enrich those profiles, and we can even find emails if we want with our existing waterfall, which makes complete sense. It also gave a few additional value adds, like an engagement map, who's engaging the most frequently. Finding the emails would be another kind of interesting value add, which I think we will. And you would be giving them their hidden pipeline report, which is really, really cool, actually, as a quick, sexy kind of offer name. Comment sentiment tags, don't care. Competitor audience overlap, don't care. Content flywheel setup guide, do care. And that could be something that we put together in the future. But for now, we'll keep it simple. And so I'm going to take the architecture here, and I'm just going to provide that directly into our build, which brings us to step 6, which is actually building this out end to end. So let's go back over here, Opus 4.8 test. And so we had a list here. And we're just going to provide some basic direction, if it lets me actually pop down here. We're going to provide some basic direction on what we want out of this build, including the Appify actor information. And I'm actually going to go ahead and say, let's plan this out based on the API-Fi actors provided. And what I want us to do is we're going to have to just start on the highest score lead you can find. So let's look at one of the leads. Let's check for, which one of these leads actually has a CRO on the team as well, and is between maybe 50 and 100 people. Especially if it's a recently hired CRO or recently hired revenue leader. Let's pick one of them and we'll build our sample lead magnet on them. And then let's build out the rest of the list that we can then sequence to with this high value lead magnet. And I'd even love to have like a screenshot of their homepage just thrown into the mix. Just because it adds that little extra layer of personalization. And why don't we actually just use Firecrawl or potentially just the Vercel agent browser, depending on what you think is doable, to grab their logo as well and put it into the lead magnet. So it's that little extra hint of personalization. And just to re-walk you through the workflow, we've got founders posting content. We're going to scrape the founder page. We want to deliver the ICP engagers directly to the CRO. And within the confines of that, we want to walk them through the full system for actually repeating this process themselves. Now we're going to provide you a full gamma breakdown from our how to extract customers from competitors gamma. So give me a sec there. You get started, plan everything out, make sure your plan's crisp, and then I'll provide the gamma. Now we'll let that rip in plan mode, and we'll come back once it's done. Step 5, build complete. So all I did was improve the 8-step plan that it pulled together from the API-Fi CLI. And now it's able to generate full reports. And I'm going to have to blur out some of this information here, but full reports that include real buyers that are ranked based on their intent as well as their ICP fit. So basically the system just went through a workflow that looks like this. You had the profile of the person that has a big following, and then it checked to see if they have a CRO or sales leadership that we can sequence to. And then it went ahead and put together, based on them having a following, check to see if that person has posts. If they have enough posts, it moved on to actually checking to see and pull engagers from posts. And then from engagers, it went to qualifying based on their company description that was scraped off the company page to see if these people that engaged met their ICP. And then it took those, waterfall enriched them, and built this beautiful, beautiful report on all of their high intent engagers. And then it puts together, the signal beats category and gives them a breakdown, a walkthrough of exactly how to run the system against their own ICP, how it works, how you can run it on your competitors if you want. And I actually turned it into an open source GitHub that you guys can grab if you want. LeadGrow go-to-market LinkedIn warm leads, which will help you actually set it up on your own system, including a PDF that is going to need a little bit more work. I think I might just make this a deployed link as well. But it includes the API 5 CLI setup and the full kind of deployment package so that you can run the entire system and even push it to instantly. So that'll be the final thing to kind of fix up. And then I include a full dashboard in case they want to turn it into their own internal app. And that is also available in open source. So if you guys want it, go grab it as well. But you can see here that we've now put together a system that exists via a slash command, by the way. And that slash command is just, actually, will it show up? Because I haven't restarted this. If I type in, there we go, yeah, LeadGrow hidden pipeline. And so now, anytime I get an engaged lead, I could route it directly to hidden pipeline. I could say, hidden pipeline, check for the 3 most recent engaged leads from campaign, and it can just run the pipeline on the day or do it in the morning on a schedule or a routine. And now I have lead magnets at scale. This is the perfect way to handle a re-engagement campaign towards everyone in your CRM. So I would just wire up a command that goes through everyone that's over 60 days old, / hidden pipeline report, put it together, and then send it directly to everyone in your pipeline on LinkedIn. I would recommend, so you can fire off the link without worrying. If you want systems like this for your go-to-market and you're a PLG SaaS company, to be honest, this is a system that might be right for you. And if you want to discuss your outbound systems and potentially have something like this installed or run for you, book a call. We'll run through things and see if there's an offer worth running in your. One final thing, you can also use systems like this to send something called a PVP. So on the scale side, right, you could send it as a PVP. So you could send out subagents depending on the cost and whether or not it's valuable to you based on your ticket size. You could, and I could say, I found, right, 66 ICP engagers on your LinkedIn post. Here's the best one, right? The best one up front. How are you engaging with them right now to turn content engagers into pipeline? And to quickly recap, what did we do? We started with researching competitors. So LinkedIn ad library. Right? We then took their best lead magnets and made them our own and researched them on Reddit. We used that tone of voice to embed it into our lead magnet. And we searched API 5 to find the best way to execute on the lead magnet. I literally gave it no direction. It just figured it out on its own. And from there, we put together the final version of the system, right? With a prototype built all by AI in 3 prompts. And then we have a scale system that we can do here with subagents and / commands. I really hope this helps. Take care.